Alright, well, we'll start this video off with a little synopsis of what's been going on in this battle. This is hour number 2. And, where is my marker? We'll look over here at the order of battle card for one. You can see the French still have some empty spaces, so we have at least 4 divisions yet to come on. And the Russians have used all theirs. I think they just have 1 division that's yet to come on, and I believe those are the Prussians that got their ass kicked and are limping back to help out the Russians in this battle. But they've yet to appear. Now the French, their reinforcements just came on. The first hour battle they didn't have none. This is the second hour. Like I said, we're closing down the second hour right now. And the Third Corps. We got 2 divisions that came on for the Third Corps from the south. And they are remnants of a retreat that suckered the Russians on down. So they're coming back. So I think they were to go up, and Ney was involved initially. They were heading on up to, I can't remember that coastal town, but Napoleon told them to stop and retreat, come on back to where they can fight this battle. So now Napoleon's engaged with his forces, and these ones that were retreating have come back and have come back south around this way. And I believe there's more reinforcements that will be coming on in the upcoming hours. Initially, old Markov, here it is, Markov Division, that's what's left of them. They were anchored into this town. The French have just dislodged them. And they are retreating back towards friendly lines. They might get chewed up, although they're all done for the hour. They've used up all 3 of their activations. Our last activation was the 2nd Division. They just finished mopping up the remnants of Markov inside of that town. Now, unfortunately for the French, there's no victory points associated with that town. The nearest victory point town's over here. And back here, it's what the 3rd Corps was heading for, but old Benningsen, wisely deployed his cavalry as a blocking force. But like I said, it all depends on the cube draws. We are down to it. French have had 2 cube draws. If they draw another cube, this will be their last one, then it'll go automatically on over to the Russians. We'll get a port of cubes out here and show you what's going on and how this game works. Alright, so you can see the old Russians overachieved when it came to initiative. The legacy of their systems, how slow they are, and their men don't take initiative, whereas the French are more liberal, letting their men make the decisions, their commanders make the decisions easier. But yeah, so when we draw a cube, the French have had 2. You can only draw 3 in a row, then it automatically goes to the other guy. And now if we draw the Russian cube, and he does his activation, the hour's over. So you can't have, once one side runs out, that's it. Now, we haven't had any of those fire cubes yet either, so this is a game within a game. Hold on a second. So pause you here. Yeah, another thing here between clips, I had a piece of equipment hit the board. Knocked the pieces around. Fortunately, for the power of video, I had to go back to YouTube and see where they were at and got all their positions in the right spot. But every once in a while, as a matter of fact, I just did it after that. I take a picture of the board just in case. I'm sure at conventions they do that, because I've seen a couple nightmare scenarios where these things here have gone flying. And there you go. Yeah, I'm lucky. I don't have no cats or pets that are obnoxious, or kids or grandkids right now. So yeah, nothing to really worry about. And miraculously, everything stays here. All right, let's get ready for the next cube draw. Let's see what happens. Russians come through. It'd be total luck. You see what the odds are. So we should be pulling up either a blue or a red cube. Russians again, or French again, aren't ready for the fire cube. The Russians got all their artillery pointed and ready for firing. So whenever a red cube gets drawn, they unload with their artillery. The French, they got artillery. Most of it's still being moved. So, like I said, it's only the 2nd hour of the battle. All right, we have us a cube. And it be The fire cube. The game just doesn't cease to surprise. All right, well, I got to go down through all these boys here, this whole line, and do us a fire phase. Looking forward to that, but only if you're a Russian, because like I said, the French don't have much unlimbered, and the Russians got a bunch last time, and this could be, we haven't regrouped or gotten any replacements. They got a lot of artillery here, and they pound the hell out of Eylau, the town. And even though the French are amongst the buildings, you can see down here on the guard, them are all casualties taken from the previous artillery strike. So this is not going to be good. Oh man, the Russians getting some good look in this game, especially with the fire cube. We'll be back. All right, and with this fire cube, the key thing is going to be units, they're infantry adjacent. Cavalry has nothing to do with fire phase, or artillery with line of sight. And we'll just start from the left to the right. And the first unit here is this unlimbered horse-drawn cavalry. Easy for me to say. Horse-drawn artillery. It's a member of the cavalry, so they have the ability to move, unlimber, and fire. A lot of times they don't have to wait for the fire phase, but here, our only target would be the hex with old Markov. Unfortunately, line of sight is blocked because the unit is closer to the target. If this here was closer to the firing unit and he was elevated, it's all about elevation. You can see up here, he's elevated one step on up. And here's another step up there, but he ain't up there and his line of sight is blocked. We go through the map, work our way on over. I think the first fire combat is going to involve this unit here in line firing against this unit. And I believe this unit here can pivot, and it'll let them square off a shot. When you're in column, you can only shoot with 2 strength points. We have another fire combat right here, and he could fire at either this unit or this unit. I think there's only 2 frontals, are these 2 here, but again, he's in column. He'll be restricted to 2 strength points. So our first fire combat will be down here, and this unit here is actually 6 strength points. And when we are in line, our strength points are maximum 4. So we can only shoot 4, even though we have 6. But they're times 2, which means we'll be shooting 8 at the Russians. And then we'll go down here for our modifiers. Snow, target's artillery, target's obstructed. No, I don't believe he is. Nope, he's out in the open. Artillery firing, defensive fire, no. French infantry, fire against infantry in column. Huh. R square. Well, I like that. So we'll get a +1 on this. We press pause, because they definitely qualify. There you go. Alright. Not sure about his facing. I don't know. Did he move? Was he looking the other way? I'm not really sure. But anyway, we'll go ahead and under the 8 strength point column with a +1, we get 2 dice. And we need at least an 8 on this roll. French 600 French line artillery firing against 400 grenadiers in column. So, and the grenadiers will be able to fire also, because they'll turn around and pivot to face them. But right now it's the French who get to fire first with a +1, because they're in column. They're all stacked up and easy to hit, I guess. All packed up for us. +1, looking for a high French roll. Oh, 10. That'll inflict some casualties, I do believe. Under the 8 with a 10. There you go. Just 1 strength point, but they do inflict a hit. Alright, so therefore 400 down to 300, and I believe he will pivot and fire. Now, he would fire if he was in line with all 400. He'd be able to use that 400 number because it's simultaneous fire. And but if he's in column formation, he can only squeeze off 2 strength points anyway. Look under Dyro modifier. Snow, targets are target, artillery. Oh, defensive fire. Well, no, he's not being charged, so it's not defensive fire. And that is it. So no modifiers with a 2. Means he needs 11 or more. We'll grab us the Russian die. Whoop. 11 or more, no Dyro modifiers. Does not get it. So therefore, that simultaneous fire combat is over. There you go. Alright, we'll look and see. I think we got another one going on right here. Again, only 2 strength points, but he is adjacent. We'll take a shot at the leader unit. I believe that is that cavalry or is that infantry? Yeah, no firing back or anything, so that'll be infantry. Again, 2 strength points. Unmodified for the Russians. Need a high roll. That won't do nothing. 6. Yeah. Under 2. Yeah, they need at least 11. So again, they had a leader with them, but there was no leader modifier for fire combat. So therefore, they are done also. Alright, let me take a little break here, look through this. Do a little bit of fire pre-scouting. Make sure we cross their T's and dot their I's, and we'll be right back. Alright, now before we proceed, I'm having a little bit of trouble with me pivoting when you want to fire combat. So hold off on that. Oh, GWG might have did that wrong, as a matter of fact. We're in the rules right now, and it doesn't say anything about being able to pivot, to fire. It doesn't say, anything. I'm going to look through here more. Maybe it's not under resolution of fire combat, but I'm going to quit doing that because I think that's only if you're being charged. You can pivot to face your attacker. I think in fire combat, the way you're facing is the way you're facing. So we're going to do that from now on. I'm going to go through the rules some more. So I just want to make a little note because, of course, we are a stickler for the rules on this channel. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, like I said previously, I do see this on assault. It says defending units can react with 1 60-degree facing change. That's only for assault, so we're going to quit doing that here on these fire combats. Next fire combat will involve the 7th Division's field artillery. Not really that strong. He has a range of 6, and he has a nice sight on. If you could, I don't know where I was. I was on YouTube, and they said something that you guys can look it up if you want. Oh, it was mine. I think it might have had something to do with miniatures instead of, or it might have had something to do with wargaming, but too much information or stuff on a wargaming table. And I can see that here, but it really helps me out a lot to check out what's going on. Like, as a matter of fact, all these divisions markers are next to the headquarters, so it just represents where the headquarters is at, and the leaders are with them. So, and then these dice represent how many activations they've had already this hour. So get through all the clutter, and you can see here he's got a nice little line of sight. 1, 2, 3 hexes. That's half his range. Oh, that's considered short distance. Strength points times 2. Let's see there, so that'll be 4, and 4 strength points. Shooting at French cuirassiers, cavalry. Alright, let's see here if we have anything else going on. Artillery firing at square, artillery firing column, nope. Not defensive fire. Nothing else, no heavy artillery, so it'll be an unmodified under the 4 strength point column, and we need at least a 9. Blue French die, unmodified. Roll of anything above 9. Need a high French roll, and a just miss. All right, therefore. Oh, you know what? Did I look at that right? Let's see here. Yeah, there's 2, so that'd be 8. All right, 8 under an 8. That will. Oh, hold on a second. Under the 8 strength points with an 8. Let's get over here. Zoom out. 8, so we got a hit. There you go. So the double ba-boom. Got the job done. So there you go, effective artillery fire on that one. Alright, we'll go down the line here. Look for our next. Like I said, this is going to be mostly artillery fire. We have the Russians haven't had, for the designers of the game, it takes a certain drill discipline to get into adjacent and firing range of your enemy. And the French are a lot better drilled at it than the Russians are, resulting in this. So we don't have anybody really adjacent yet, so this is going to be, like I said, all mostly artillery. We got stuff we're going to have to do, so we might have to stop it here. But if we can play on, we will. We just got to take a little break. We'll be right back. All right, looking back here at the board. Next unit's this nice artillery on top of a hill, on top of a hill. So they got an eagle's eye view of everything. Unfortunately, it's light artillery, and they only have a 6 hex range. Oh, their firing arc is this way, and again. Checking out the artillery fire table, I see nothing here that says that they can pivot when it comes time for the fire phase. So we're going to keep that pivot to only when they are being charged. When they're being charged, anybody can pivot to face their attacker. So unfortunately for the Russians, I don't have any targets. 6 hex range is only about to here. So there you go. Look for our next target. Be right back. Our next available firing unit, to be exact. We'll be back. All right then, looking here, we got the 5th Divisions. Got some artillery unlimbered. Underneath it is they're garrisoned by some grenadiers. Yeah, it is the 5th Division's artillery. Got the 5th Division. He's got them deployed this way and this way, like we were saying earlier, a little bit of a wedge. But he can go ahead and fire. We'll be right back. All right, so we'll get a +2 modifier for that artillery is firing on column, because his target is in column. So +2 on his die roll for the Russian artillery. +2, looking for a high die roll. And it'll be, I believe it's either foot or field artillery, or whatever they call it here. It's not light, it's not horse, so it's foot or field artillery. +2 for all the boys being tightly packed. Ooh, 9. That is a 2. Oh, let me see here. 2 to 9. That's not going to do anything. His strength points aren't doubled or anything, are they? Nope. That's just it. Let me see here. Oh, hold on a second. 8 hexes is what their range is. Let me see here real quick. He has 5 hexes away. So strength points times 1, that doesn't do anything. So ineffective fire for the Russian artillery. Alright, and again, there was his target. No good with the artillery. Alright, let's go down here. We have some other artillery, but it is still limbered. I don't see anything else. When we come up here, we have the right wing artillery reserve, but we have some heavy artillery there, but their range ends about right here. So we'll look for another firing opportunity when we come back. All right, what always helps when I press the record button? I just been talking for the last 10 minutes, like my wife. I've been talking to you, and you weren't even here. So I don't know what I said, but I think we started off with the sound of artillery has been reverberating to the north of the battlefield. As we can see, everyone firing. There you go. Now the fire is going to get more intensive as we move south, because we have artillery unlimbered here, and the French haven't moved their guard. Their guard is within range of a lot of artillery. It took 800 plus casualties last fire phase, last artillery barrage, and they have some units that haven't been reinforced that much, so they are in danger of losing valuable guard units to just artillery. I'll have to see what their numbers are, but yeah, it's going to get, there's a little bit of artillery going on there, a little sound of cannons reverberating, but it's going to get a lot worse down here. Like I said, we have artillery unlimbered here, but that's light. You can see that little line there, as opposed to this artillery there. See that thick line? Right there. There you go. So he's up on a hill too. He'll be firing. So all this artillery unlimbered. That was just it. A big thing about the Battle of Eylau is that Bennigsen had a lot of artillery. He outnumbered the French. It comes into play in this little fire phase. All right, so we got our light artillery there. Might not do much damage, and our target will be all the guard at Eylau. We're getting ready to suffer another barrage. They better hit the deck. Is that a hill here? Okay, we got a hill here. Was he smart enough to... Yes, we got artillery up on the hill. They'll be firing. Moving across here. Like I said, that heavy artillery, they'll be in range of them. Those guns. These are the guns we're looking at here, though. These guns here, here, and here are all up on top of the hill at Eylau. A lot of this hill, our units are up on the hill, so they'll be able to fire from hill to hilltop. Now, some of these units on the bottom will be spared because they're out of line of sight. But yeah, you can see the wrath coming through. These you might even be able to. I don't know. Well, no, these are. It helps with their artillery there, dude. Yeah, these are line infantry. But you can see artillery here, artillery here, artillery here. And as we go down, a lot more unlimbered artillery here. Oh, they might be able to fire. Oh, we got out of the way on this one. But you can see what I'm getting at. And like I said, there's artillery all through here. So that's what we're coming up with. Don't touch that dial. A bunch of artillery. If you like artillery strikes, it's on its way. We'll be back. All right, we're going to take a little break here. We got life calling. When we come back, we'll start with the artillery here, and then we'll start with this artillery. And reverberating sound of booming artillery will cascade down the valley. Boom, 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 boom. As it goes on, we'll be back. Also, don't want to forget the old Steam summer sale is on. And you can see here, my AI already has me propagated with military games. And we got a couple already queued up in our cart. We can't wait to pull the trigger on. So one's an oldie but goodie from the old PlayStation games, or PlayStation days. I used to go to the gaming store, Blockbuster Video, and we used to rent games, and I'd grab that sucker, and I'd end up being like 5 days late with it. You have to go back and pay late fees. But yeah, it was an early incarnation of Warhammer. So let me see if we can pull it up here real quick before we have to get going. There you go, Warhammer Dark Omen. Old, I want to say 80s game, but I don't think it was that old. Probably more around, I'm not sure when it first came out. Here you go, the classic. Yeah, it was good. So anyway, gotta go. When we come back, be firing off some artillery and checking out some Steam games. We'll be back. All right, back for our fire phase, which will mainly include Russian artillery. There aren't too many units that have been able to get adjacent to the enemy for volleys of line infantry fire. So come down here. We have a unit that is ready to fire. He will be firing at these French Guard units just outside of Eylau. It's a light artillery, so he only has a 6 hex range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right within under range. But we will get, and that's a elite unit. We'll get 2 strength points times 1. But we get a +2 because the boys are in column. They're all stacked up for us like bowling pins. So a +2 on this die roll. And we need an 11 or more to get a hit, because it's just, like I said, I think it's only one unit of artillery there. Yeah, we got line infantry garrisoning the hex. So 2 strength points, a long shot, but for a high roll if you're rooting for the Russians. Oh, that won't get it. So ineffective artillery fire. Alright, going up there will be this unit here. And he will have to fire on someone that is on the hill. I don't believe. Well, he's on the edge. I guess he could fire at anybody. Yeah, this unit here is closer to this unit than it is to the target, so he can shoot over him. So we're going to say he can see anybody there, and we pick a target. Alright, well, this being light artillery, he only has a range of 6 hexes and comes 1 short of any of these units here, so little pea shooter can't get it done, but we'll move on to the next unit. And that is a heavy artillery, and he's on a hill, which is on a hill, range 9 hexes. That'll get him around this area here. We'll have to pick a target. Don't really want anybody that's in the obstructed hex amongst the buildings. That'll be a big hit. We'll be back. Alright, well, we got 2 heavy artillery there. Total of 8 strength points, but there is his limit to his firing arc. So he can't shoot anything over this side. He can shoot at these units here, but we'll pay an obstructed hex penalty. This unit here out in the open, but it being such a small unit, small silhouette, small footprint, it carries its own penalties. But I think the 2 of the lessers, we'll look it up, will probably be shooting at this unit here, taking a artillery penalty because it's such a small. We'll just be Hail Marying it. But amongst these buildings, they get a lot of cover too, so not much going on there. But there are 2 heavy artilleries, and that is 9 hexes away. There's his maximum range, so he could shoot pretty far. But like I said, negative gyro modifiers for us, positive ones for the French. We're back. Alright, well, that artillery beast is so small that it carries more of a penalty. It's better for us to shoot at targets in the obstructed terrain, so therefore we'll shoot at this hex here, which contains these 2 units right here, and they're both elite. So there you go. We'll roll with a -2 penalty. Oops, they're in column. No, don't matter. They're in obstructed terrain. So yeah, -2. And with 8 strength points. Oh, we gotta see here also. Long distance. 6+. Ooh, we can only shoot with half, so instead of 8, we're shooting with 4. Under the 4 column with -2. We need a 9. Alright, -2. Need a 9. High die roll if you're a fan of the Russians. Oh, it says a lot. That says a lot. Alright, well then we will continue on. Alright, let's see if we can get it facing the right way. Let's see what we got going on here. Try the zoom feature. And a 2 marker for the double boom. Like I said, it was only half the strength points because of the distance. Alright, let's move on. We'll look at some more artillery options. We'll be back with more of the fire cube. We'll be right back. I think we'll begin here with a nice grand battery from the Central Artillery Reserve. It's time for them to be heard from. Oh, is this one of them over here? I believe it is. Alright, so we have a big old battery now. It's going to fire on off. They're all within a nice distance, good range. And they're the ones that inflicted all the heavy casualties to the guard last fire cube. Now when they're done, we got more behind them. Although we might have some line of sight issues on some of this. I think that's what happened last time. I think the Russians initially deployed just for an attack. If they came, if the French come over that hill, is what they were there for originally. So they had a chance to move. They didn't get any good move orders or anything like that, but they are able to fire. So we'll be starting off with this battery here. Maybe around here, I guess. Then there's some redundancy and more back here. And I do believe some of them might be able just to fire a certain way. Anybody that's on a hill can fire on a hill. So we go with that. Or rather, when we get done with that, there's some more nice grand batteries through here. So old Bennington, definitely the God of War, King of Artillery in this early couple hours. We'll be back. Alright, well, it's a real shame we can't use that pivot rule, but like I said, we're only going to use that when they're being attacked. Can they flip around? Because this unit here is big old, I think a double stack. Let's see. Yeah, double stack of heavy artillery. Unfortunately, his firing arc is only this way. He's got a 9 hex range, but that's still no French units within range. So we'll waste 2 nice batteries of heavy artillery. Next time the orders come through, these boys gotta move. Gotta get a move order or something. Be back. Alright, so that'll move us to his adjacent battery. Again, heavy artillery. And he has a target. He's gonna target anybody in the town, but I think the obvious target will be this little spot here that holds these 2 line infantry units. They will get a modifier for being in obstructed terrain. Let me add up the numbers. Alright, they are at a medium distance, 4 to 5 hexes. I believe that's what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 hexes away, so that'll qualify as medium distance. That'll be their strength points times 1, so that's 8. Alright, 8. Target is in obstructed terrain, -2 on the roll. Oh, heavy artillery +1, so it'll be a -1. -1. And, with 8. They needed 8 or higher. -1, -1. Oh. I believe they got a hit. There you go. Under the 8 column with an 8, they just got it. So, more guard unit casualties. Alright then. Taking casualties amongst the buildings. There's the guard battalion. Alright, what we have over here is double marker. Alright, another double coming up, and that's both heavy artillery also when we come back. Alright. Essential Artillery Reserve already inflicting casualties. Inside of Eylau. Our next up are 2 more heavy artillery here, and I think this will, might have to go for a little bit of a leader shot on this one. I think he was restricted on his arc of fire. The old leader. Well, no, he's blocked line of sight by a bunch of buildings, so there's only 2 targets. May want to, we'll definitely pick the one that's outside of the city limits. Alright then, for a nice unobstructed shot. And in column also. Ooh, is he hurt from the last barrage? Yes, he is. Bottom unit still at full strength, so the top unit has to be eliminated before he takes any casualties, because he is the 2nd unit. The other unit is the lead unit. Alright, this next one will feature heavy artillery. Ooh, but he is at over short range. It's 2 or 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he'll get a strength points times 1, which is 8. But his modifier will be target is in column, which is a +2, and heavy artillery +1, so he'll get a +3. Fire at these units here because they're in column, all densely packed, ready to go. So +3 on this Russian die roll. If I can get this thing to work, there you go. +3. They got hit before. Not too many casualties more, and they'll be eliminated. Looking for a high roll. Ooh, 11 with a 8. 11 with an 8. 11 will be just one strike point. Oh no, he gets 2. Alright, well, that will eliminate a guard unit. Excellent shooting there, boys. That's how that's done. Well, also, you usually get, we have to take off 1 for losing a unit. You get to take off 2 for losing a guard. So therefore, 110 taken away and 8 more put in its place. Wow, that is hardcore. Be adding another unit to the casualty ranks. This time they ain't messing around. That was an elite unit. Wow. Hardcore artillery. Hammering. Better do something about that. You have to do something about that guard in there. that is not funny shit. That's almost 1,000 men we've lost to artillery. Now we're starting to lose units to it. So there you go. That'll be it. Is that it for the central artillery? Yeah, I think these here are all 8th. 8th, do we have any more central? Dark green, I don't see them. I guess that'll be it. Oh, there's one right there. Okay. More central artillery to be fired when we come back. Alright, couple guard units getting blasted. Taking casualties from the Russian heavy artillery. Old Bensington. Getting some back. To old Napoleon. French losing this one so far. Be back.